My guest tonight has been to a galaxy far, far away and can often be seen in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding Worlds. He describes himself as an actor, an entertainer and an all-round nice guy. And so I am delighted to welcome Brian Wheeler to our sofa. Brian, thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad that you're wearing the tie in my honour.
Well, I thought I'd make the effort for you.
You have indeed, it's
And
good.
I mean, as we said there as well, kind of one of your first major acting roles was in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it was my major first one. They were looking for people under 4'6" for a film, and I phoned up and I said I'm under 4'6", and they said, well, come along and we'll do measurements for you. I went along and I went, by the way, what is the film? And they went, Return of the Jedi. And obviously I was a Star Wars fan. I went, what, the third one? Actual fact, it was called Revenge of the Jedi
Yes.
originally, and I've still got the sweatshirt that says Revenge of the Jedi.
Wow. Keep hold of that, they're worth some money.
Well, I don't think so. So then I went along and they put me as an Ewok, and then I did another couple of weeks as a Jawa, and the Jawa's better, and I'm getting more famous for being a Jawa than an Ewok because there's not so many Jawas.
Wow. I suppose that is kind of the tradition of a Star Wars actor, is that you don't just play one role, you play multiple roles within the franchise.
We did, or I did, and I was very lucky also, which people didn't realise, and they've only just suddenly realised, I also played the Gonk droid, which is the big box where you can just see the legs. And bless his soul, Jackie Purvis, he did it as well in Empire Strikes Back, I think. And he came and banged on the door one day and said, are you trying to take all my roles? Because he was a Jawa as well, he was an Ewok, and he was also a Gonk droid.
And I suppose from there it kind of started this theme of being in films where we don't necessarily see your face.
No, you don't. Harry Potter, we got 4 hours of prosthetics on there, so you don't really recognise me there. But after Jedi, I then went on to a little-known film called Never-Ending Story.
Oh, only a small film.
Yeah, a little small film. Filmed out in Germany, we did that one. And in that, I was in the Ivory Tower, and people say, oh, where were you? Where were you? Unfortunately, in that one, I played a mushroom. So I had a large head, and you just couldn't see my face. So a lot of the jobs, you don't see my face, but you do in Top Gear.
I was going to say, obviously, all those films that's kind of big films, big names, and people actually get to see you for the first time. Was it you were with Richard Hammond, was it?
I was indeed. I drove with Richard Hammond, and the gag on that was they employed me as a mechanic and also to be smaller than him. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, as you can see us sitting on this bench now, I'm as tall as you sitting down. Mm-hmm. And so when I was in this car with Richard Hammond, I was actually taller than Richard Hammond sitting down. So they had to take the seat out, and we were driving around, don't tell health and safety, we were driving around, and I was actually sat on the floor just to look shorter than him.
Wow, that's incredible. And I suppose, though, aside from some of the kind of the cult films and the sci-fi films, you've been in a whole wealth of different projects as well. So Phantom of the Opera, I mean, tell me about that. That must have been incredible.
Yeah, that was Joel Schumacher direction. Gerald Butler was the Phantom, and I was on that for months. I was on it all through the film, and the film set was absolutely amazing. It was in a studio, but they made the whole theatre and the backstage, and behind the backstage where all the animals were, all in a big studio. And that was absolutely amazing. And also, I was the only small person on there. And so Joel every morning would say, good morning, Brian, to me. And the other people would say, how come he remembers your name? I went, I wonder. The only small person. And they actually were so nice to me, they got me a smaller chair so I could sit down in a chair in comfort where I could put my feet on the floor.
Wow.
So that was absolutely brilliant.
I suppose that's the thing. We were talking a little bit beforehand, saying that you can have kind of wealth in terms of objects and things and stuff like that, but actually kind of the wealth of experience that you've picked up in your acting career is absolutely phenomenal.
It's quite weird. We were talking earlier, and I came up with another thought that I was in. We talked about being interviewed, and I was on TV-AM many, many moons ago. I'll tell you why, because I was advertising Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, and me and Mike Edmonds cooked apple crumble or apple strudel with Rusty Lee when she was on it, and that was very funny. But we were getting up. Mike worked the night before, so we had to get up at about 5 o'clock to get into the studios to start the work, and then we did rehearsal of Panto as well.
I was going to say, alongside kind of your big film roles, you do still take part in pantomimes.
I do pantomime. I've just finished, I think, my 38th season up in Shrewsbury. I've done pantomime every year since I was 21. Only 7 years. Well, maybe not. But I've done it ever since I was 21. Every Christmas, do a panto. I just did. I only get a day off over Christmas, and obviously New Year's Day. Everybody else goes, oh, well, I've only got 2-3 days off for Christmas. We just get 1 day off, and that's it. And we got the snow this year as well.
But I suppose, do you find that kind of the circles that you move in, it becomes so much of a family atmosphere?
Oh, with pantomime, it certainly does. There's a lot. I work a lot for the same company, so a lot of the dames, the comedians, the dwarves, the dancers, we all sort of know each other from other productions or parties or meetings of where we get together and see each other. So yeah.
But I've heard as well, going to a few conventions, things that kind of, you've got the Star Wars fraternity. Anybody that has been in a Star Wars film, particularly any of the originals, there's quite a camaraderie there.
Yeah, there is more so in the different, because they're all set in threes, and we were in the main the first three, and we've all been around for years, and we all still know each other, and we still catch up with each other. And then we've got the new ones that are coming in, and they don't understand that we've been in it years, and we were all recognised because of it. Where now they're not being named who they are and what characters they played. Where mine was, I was an Ewok, and then it came out that I was a Jawa as well, because I produced some photos of me as a Jawa.
Wow. And
so everybody knows us, and everybody knows what parts we're in, and we can actually still talk about it 35 years later. Do you remember when? So yeah, there is quite a fraternity. There's also, amongst the comic people that come to see us, there's the Star Wars, the Doctor Who's, the Star Treks, and they don't always want to come and talk to us. Excuse me. The Star Wars want to come and talk to us, but the Doctor Who's go, oh no, we want to go and see Colin Baker, or which is fair enough.
I suppose kind of the big question that's on the tip of everybody's tongue is, what can we expect to see you in next?
Well, you'll have to watch the screens, because this day and age you're not allowed to say what's coming up. But there may be something coming up, you never know.
Maybe something with a magical theme, possibly.
I'm not sure on that one. That's a bit tempting on that one.
Fantastic. Brian, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.